The first week, I think the best bits were the parties, because that helped me to get to know people. The fact that I was eased into it slowly, even though it was quite scary going to university and it was so big and there was so many different departments. The fact that we were kind of eased into the work slowly was good for me. That was a good part, and just meeting new people.
The first couple of weeks on a new course at a new university are the best time to make friends, because everybody wants to make friends, or everybody wants to sort of connect with other people, so people are going to be particularly open to you. So, I mean, even if you are a bit shy or, you know, not used to going up to people, you know, force yourself a little bit, because people will be friendly and welcoming, and, you know, you never know, you may make the friends of your life, you may meet a future partner. I mean, that happens to a lot of people, actually. And so don't be frightened, don't hold back from going out and meeting people.
I think the most useful tip when you're coming to university at any level is to make sure that you speak to as many people as possible, whether they're other people who are the same level as you or staff or anybody, because everybody is really, really helpful. Everybody wants you to succeed, and you can end up making some good new friends as well.
I would say it took me about 4 weeks to properly settle into the university and feel like a proper university student. The first couple of weeks were about enrolment, induction. The second week was about trying to find my way out of the maze of the university. And then the third week and fourth week is when, you know, the real work started, and I was used to the university building and used to the people around me. And I think that's when I started feeling more like a uni student.
You've got to be proactive and find stuff out for yourself and ask people, because even though it's all there, you know, there's so much to take in, it's difficult. So it's important to think about what your goals are, what you want to achieve, and I mean, there are people who can tell you what's available. I mean, the student services are quite good, and I suppose I found out about everything through, you know, emails and posters and things.
I know how important it is to really ask loads and loads of questions and possibly just risk really annoying every person that you meet at a university. So I knew early on where the library was, and I made sure that I had an induction, and I introduced myself to the librarian who was in charge of my sort of department, and I made sure that I had all of that information available to me, because if you find all that sort of stuff out right at the very beginning, then it doesn't slow you down later when you're starting to panic about your essay or anything else.
I mean, part of my course required me to learn how to use electronic databases, and I had a one-to-one session with my subject librarian. That was really helpful. So that was quite focused on my subject area, learning how to use these electronic databases and access up-to-date market research, academic journals. That was really helpful.
I think the first time I felt that I'd settled in and engaged with the course was when I found the classroom on my own without asking for any help from anybody, and someone on the way asked me for directions and I tried to help them instead.
Figure out what you need to know in order to do well. So it's not only learning the stuff, it's learning how to write these academic essays, how to learn from the lectures. And that's not something that was immediately obvious to me. So there's a lot of information out there in order to help you do the job of being a student well. So being a student is like a job. So you need to have skills in order to do the job well. You need to think about how you learn, how you take notes, how you're going to organise your notes, how you're going to memorise stuff, how you're going to write. And all this stuff, you don't have to be left to, you know, to your own devices to figure out yourself. There are sort of study skill books out there that the university puts on, sort of workshops and seminars that can show you how to be smarter about the way you go about your studies. And that's really important to learn a little bit about those skills at the beginning of the course before you get so involved with the coursework itself. So I'd definitely recommend that people think about their study skills and how they can improve their study skills, because they will help make you a more effective learner, and, you know, ultimately they'll save you time and they'll maximise your academic performance. So go and ask yourself, how am I going to take good notes? How am I going to improve my academic writing? And get some answers to those questions. And the university provides study skills workshops and, you know, their websites, their books. But do spend a bit of time thinking about how you're going to skill yourself up to do as well as you can in your course.
The worst bits for me was basically walking into a big building by myself and then having to do find out all these things by myself, getting my library card, going to student services and finding out information, different sorts of information, where to go for my course. But in actual fact, I think when I look back, those were the best bits, because they actually helped me grow. They actually helped me develop as a person and be independent and be assertive as well.